Hello. So, do you think you need someone else's permission to help them? If you're a psychic, if you want someone to do better, if you're an empath, if you want to use your energy for someone to do better, and you're not with them physically to help them physically, can you help them from a distance without telling them, without asking for their permission to help? And would you? So, here's the thing, a lot of people are meditating for world's peace. And they're not asking anyone, hey, can I interfere with your reality, get rid of your problems to actually manifest peace? And there's millions of people gathering around in different parts of the world, coming together in groups, doing events yearly, like every year, trying to manifest world peace. That's one thing. But a lot of groups, if you go online, there are various circles in spirituality groups, in self-betterment groups, in health groups where people are doing meditation. Whether it is for one person to feel better or they want better results for someone else, they come up, they meditate, they do their thing, and look, they're changing someone else's reality without asking for their permission. We can take another example. Joe Dispenza. Well, he does ask for permission from what I've heard. Because I have not gone to his seminars and I do not have first-hand experience being in his events to see how it all goes, I cannot tell you what it is fully. But from what he tells, manifesting someone else's health, if they have cancer and he and some of his followers come to go into a hospital, they surround a person that has a cancer and they meditate, they get this certain energy, and boom, without touching a person, they change someone else and they get better. So there will be those that have gone to his seminars and done his meditations and done his work, so you might share your first-hand experience. Me, I'm just sharing what I've heard from his podcast and videos on YouTube. But as the concept goes. Now, can we affect someone else's energy, and do we need a permission? It's up to you. I know a lot of people, and let's say my lover is one of them, like, he does not allow anyone to affect this energy field. He has made a strong decision, and it's a belief he has that no one can impact him. And I've seen people who are into spiritual work, energy work, Reiki, and other stuff where they touch his body or do the various energy techniques. Nothing affects him. Nothing. Like, you try to send a thought into his field and stuff, he just has strong, like, concrete belief that, like, no, like, nothing can affect him. Even, like, I haven't tried it that much, but a few times, like, I just, like, tried, like, even my stuff is not working for him. So, like, yeah, like, he just has a strong belief that his field cannot be affected by others. And that's really good for him, if that's what he wants. And for people like him. But there's another thing. There are people who, let's say, are spiritually blind, or let's say physically blind. If there was a blind person living in his own apartment, just doing his stuff, and that blind person, let's say, knows his surroundings, knows where to go and pick up, like, the kitchen knife, how to make his own meal, and he knows his places, he has, like, things that will guide him in his house, that's fine. But let's say this blind person now has a burglar or someone else who comes into his house and starts living with him. They are very quiet, that blind person does not have a clue, maybe. And now this person starts moving things around the house. And all of a sudden, the person who is blind just, like, loses, like, hey, the couch used to be here, now it's gone. I know the kitchen knife used to be here, now it's gone. Why is everything in different places? So he starts going crazy, feeling a bit gaslighted or not understanding his surroundings. Like, what the hell? But if you could tell, hey, Mr. Blind Guy, there's someone else living inside your house with you. You might not see them, you might not know they're there, but they're using your space, they're using your items, they're messing with you, they're using your money, and you can tell them, and they might not know how to deal with that situation. Or you could actually see that this is going on and interfere with that, like do something, like kick that burglar out of the house and like, hey, done, problem's out. So when you're trying to help others and you're working on maybe like, hey, you see someone is sick or they have entities or they have other problems, and you kind of can identify them more gradually, like kind of know them because of what people talk about their life. When you know that kind of stuff, when you can identify the issue or what's going on, you can do the spiritual work. You can do the spiritual work to help others, whether it's psychic work, energy work, removing beliefs, removing contracts, removing programs, removing attachments, removing entities, you name it. So many things that could be done. And you help people to get better. You get rid of their stuff and their life gets better. And for them, it feels like a natural, gradual shift. Like one morning they wake up and this rage and anger and stress and anxiety that used to be with them is gone because you, for example, removed entity clusters that were surrounding them. You removed some limiting beliefs. Maybe you rewrote some of their past lives to the point where several groups are now no longer attacking that being, and that person is doing better. Maybe you removed someone who is a real person, psychic, doing the occult work, and using black magic or stuff like that. Maybe you remove the curse or something like that. So a person gets better and they're happy. You never ask for permission, but their life is much better. When you ask for permission, a lot of people get a belief that you're gonna affect their life and have a control over it. So now they give you permission, but at the same time they start questioning you. They put the guard, like, you're entering my energy field, you're entering my space. How much can I allow you? I know you're willing, like you're wishing good for me, but do I really trust you? And all of a sudden they start questioning your work. So previously, while you could remove entities that caused stress, anxiety, the depression or anger and stuff like that, and the person you would be clear, now you try to work on it, but the person is closely watching their space. I have anger issues, I have financial problems, I have this, I have that, I have that, and that person will try to change it. I'll see if that changes. But now, because they're so cautious, they start holding on to the negative beliefs. They start holding on to the entities, to the negativity, to see if you can actually help them. And now your work is fruitless. It does not give any results because you're doing stuff to help them. And you ask for their permission, they said, yes, you can help me. But now they're closely watching if you can actually remove that problem from their field while they are holding onto it strongly to see if you can do it. And now all of a sudden your work is meaningless. So usually when we have people meditating for world's peace, while a lot of people are consciously holding on to their problems, like no one's asking for a permission, they're just doing the work. There's a lot of ways to go about it, but I think that when you're trying to help someone else, you are changing your frequency. The world that you see, the people around you, it's your creation, in a way. And if you see someone doing not so good, and you clear their stuff without asking for their permission, you are the one rewriting your perspective of this reality, and the person who in your script was not doing so well is now doing better, and you've changed your own script to see that reality differently. If a person does not want their reality changed, it will not be changed for them, while you rewrite your reality, making your reality with them in it better. So now we have different timelines where one person is holding on to the negative belief. Your reality is now that person is doing better. And now we have more realities, more ways to go about it. But yeah, that's my point of view. And I think that if you can help someone, you probably should, unless that person really does not want to be helped. Because another side of the coin is a lot of people do not want to be helped. They do not need you to interfere because their problems are helping them to survive. Sometimes their depression, their anger issues like with health and financial problems is them wanting to stay in the comfort zone because changing anything would be requiring quite a lot of effort. It would be a hard work. It's uncomfortable to get out, to change, to take action, to do stuff. And people would much rather be sick. Like for example, look at older people. They get sick, but it's more like we're just taking general belief. Older person gets sick, someone comes to take care of them. Meaning, if I am sick, then someone will care, because otherwise they do not call, they do not visit, they do not come, they do not care. But look, I'm near deathbed, so they're more likely to get closer to deathbed, to be sick, to do worse in life, to have someone come and care for them, because this is the only way they can get that. And a lot of people will manifest this kind of thing using their problems as survival. So even if you ask for their permission, hey, can I help you? If they do not want to change, like they do not need your help because they don't want to change. And no matter how much you will try to impact their life, they can hold on to their reality and you will not be able to help. So this is like 50-50. Those that want help but might not be able to name it or are so overwhelmed that they don't consider about it, you can still help them. Those that see their problems as a solution, something that aids their survival one way or the other, no matter how illogical it is to us, even if you try to help, you will not change their reality much because they will basically bring back their problems. If you remove it and they're like, no, I don't want to get out of the comfort zone, I don't want to change. A lot of people who are homeless, it's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle to be homeless for many, because they would much rather be beggars and ask for stuff, and they get it. They get food, they get money, they get help, and they're like careless. No need to pay taxes, they don't give a damn about anything, and they can I don't know, it's generalities. But same for people who go to war. It's addictive. A lot of adrenaline. People who've been to war, for a lot of them, they cannot come back to the normal society. Same as a person who has spent a lot of time in prison. Prison becomes a lifestyle. Like, hey, you like that. People who have been in the military, people who have been in cults even, stuff like Scientology, it's a lifestyle. They like that group mentality where like bunk beds and there's some sort of structure where everyone follows certain rules. And like that lifestyle, if people prefer it, it's really hard to reintegrate into normal society, whatever is considered normal. But no matter how hard you might try to change that stuff, if a person prefers like this kind of lifestyle, you can't really change it much. You can push them out of it, but they will gradually come back until they can solve their problems. And most people don't want it. So you can work on helping others, and it's a 50-50 thing. People that are willing to change and get better, because usually before getting better, it gets worse, as you need to change, to adapt, to change your reality, to change your beliefs, to change your habits and stuff. Those that are willing to change, they will be able to handle the harsher emotions for a while or harsher environment and rise up and be better. Those that are having a hard time dealing with problems, they'll be running away from them. You try to confront them, tell them, hey, you have this issue, and everyone's seeing it, and you named it, but every time we try to focus on it, and we try to work on it, or you try to work on it, you stop and get distracted, look at something else, and you run away from your problems, trying to stay in that comfort zone. So that being said, you can help, but it really depends if a person wants to change. If they have too many problems and they do want to change, you will be able to impact them even if they don't know it. If they do not want to change, no matter how much they might pretend that they do want to change, but they do not want to get out of their comfort zone or anything like it, then yeah, you can work, but it's going to be basically oh, I've tried everything, I've done everything, and it did not work, and they just keep on coming back. I'm stuck in this loop, I'm stuck in this cycle. It just keeps on happening to me. No matter what I do, it just keeps on coming back. Yeah, because you don't want to change. You truly do not want to change. Your problem currently is aiding your survival, and until you change that, things will not move. So yeah, hope that makes sense. But feel free to change. Feel free to share your point of view, and I'm looking forward to your 2 cents. If you feel that you need a permission to help someone from a distance, if they know about it or not. So yeah, take care. Have a nice day.